I was scrolling through Reddit and I came across something that a senior engineer had posted. Any company that has their juniors using lots of AI is making it impossible for them to build skill, which over time is going to make my skills even rarer and more valuable, ironically. He probably didn't think of it as a confession, but that's what it was because he's telling you what his expertise is going to be worth in 5 years. And he's right, because right now, across every major tech company in America, juniors are being fired and replaced with AI. The story you are being told is that this is about productivity, that AI is faster and it's cheaper and it's better, and that the layoffs are painful but necessary, the price of progress. Now, that story is wrong, and not slightly wrong, but structurally wrong. And by the end of this video, you know what's actually being transferred when a junior gets replaced by a chatbot. You know who's collecting on the transfer, and you see why the people running this don't care if the AI works, because the worse it performs, the more valuable the trade becomes. The official story goes like this. Companies adopt AI, junior roles get automated, and productivity rises, society adjusts. Jack Dorsey announced Block is firing 4,000 people, and the stock jumps 17% in a single day. Mark Benioff at Salesforce announces that they're not hiring engineers in 2026. Klarna fires 700 customer service workers and replaces them with a chatbot. Every quarter, another announcement, another celebration in the earnings call. This is the same framing that every wave of automation has used. Tractors replaced farmhands, ATMs replaced bank tellers. The economy adjusted and people found new work. Progress is uncomfortable but net positive. Now that framing isn't wrong exactly. It's just describing the wrong layer of the transaction. Every previous automation wave replaced manual labor with machines. But this one is doing something very different. And once you see it, the rest of the video falls in place. MIT's Nanda Institute tracked 30 to 40 billion in enterprise AI spending across 300 real-world deployments. They found that 95% of the pilots delivered nothing. 55% of the executives who fired their workers regret it. Klarna, by the way, is quietly hiring back the humans that they made a press release out of firing. The people running this know the AI doesn't work, but they are firing the workers anyway. So the productivity framing is a costume. Something else is being collected. So what's actually being transferred when a junior loses their job to a chatbot that doesn't even work properly? Stocks don't just jump 17% on bad news. Whatever the market is rewarding here, productivity ain't it. Let's think about how someone actually becomes good at anything. A junior engineer spends 3 years writing bad code under a senior supervision. Most of it gets thrown away, some of it ships and breaks things. Each time something breaks, the senior explains why, and the junior internalizes a rule that isn't necessarily written down anywhere. After 3 years, they stop needing the senior, and after 8 years, they are the senior. A junior jeweler spends a decade ruining stones. He cracks them, sets them wrong, he wastes material that costs more than they earn. The master watches, corrects, watches again, and after 10 years of expensive mistake, the apprentice can feel a flaw in a stone before they cut it. The same thing with a junior surgeon, a junior lawyer. They make small errors and then they learn from them in conditions where small errors are survivable. Eventually, they are the ones doing the work unsupervised, and the new junior is watching them. The cycle continues. Skill isn't transferred just by instruction, it's manufactured by friction. So the mistakes, the supervision, the long stretch where you cost the system more than you produce, that stretch is the apprenticeship. Now, go back to what's happening right now. A junior gets replaced by AI, a salary disappears from the cost line. The market applauds, but something else just happened that the market isn't pricing. The apprenticeship is gone. There's no friction stage anymore because the work that the friction stage produced, the bad code, the cracked stones, the supervised closures, is being done by a machine that doesn't learn the way a human does and doesn't care to pass anything on. What's being transferred when a junior is fired isn't just a salary, but also the capacity to ever produce a senior again. and expertise is becoming the scarcest asset in the economy. Now, I want to take you back about 300 years because what I have just described has happened before. You see, for most of recorded history, India was the world's textile manufacturer. Bengali muslin, Madras chintz, Gujarati silk, these were exported to Europe by the shipload. The skill base was immense, multi-generational, encoded in master and apprentice chains that went back for centuries. And then the East India Company arrived. Now, they didn't just outcompete the weavers, they restructured the entire trade. Indian raw cotton went to British mills. Finished British cloth came back to Indian markets. They taxed the local weaving heavily and they cut off apprenticeship pathways. They restricted certain techniques from being passed down. And the result, well, in 2 generations, the country that has supplied the world's finished cloth was importing it from a country that 100 years earlier couldn't have produced a comparable bolt at any price. Now, I want to be precise about what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that history is repeating. I'm saying engineered skill collapse is a recognizable economic strategy. It has identifiable beneficiaries and it ends the same way every time. The population that loses the skill becomes a permanent customer of whoever retained it. Now, look at what's happening with AI and ask yourself, who's playing the role of the East India Company? Let's start with the obvious ones, the executives. They book the wage savings right now. They ride the stocks and cash out their options. By the time the missing senior engineers of 2031 don't exist, the people who fired their junior selves in 2026 will have already collected and exited. Jack Dorsey announced the block layoffs and the stock jumped 17%. He's not going to be at block in 2031 explaining why there's nobody senior enough to ship the next product. He's going to be on a yacht, and the engineers who would have been senior in 2031 are going to be on Reddit explaining why nobody can ship a working product anymore. Now, you might think, fine, executives capture short-term value. That's how executive compensation has always worked. We've seen this movie, it's bad, but it's familiar. Except, this time, there's a layer underneath it that's doing something the old story can't explain. The AI infrastructure layer, Nvidia, the hyperscalers. Now, Nvidia are not selling productivity tools or efficiency. Instead, they are selling dependency with a recurring revenue model. They don't need the AI to actually replace human expertise. What they just need is companies to believe that it does long enough to keep buying their GPUs. And every junior who loses their training pathway today is a future enterprise customer who can't operate without an AI subscription tomorrow. The worse the AI performs, the longer that customer stays locked in. Skill collapse is an asset to Nvidia. And this is already a worse trade than the executive layer. At least the executives are extracting value from a single company. The infrastructure layer is extracting value from the entire concept of human competence. But I haven't told you the uncomfortable part yet. The third layer is people who are mostly good people. They are the remaining experts. You know, the senior engineer who posted that Reddit comment. He isn't a villain. The 25-year-old goldsmith who watched his industry get hollowed out by CAD isn't a villain. They are survivors. They didn't design the trade, and almost none of them are acting on it. But they don't have to act on it. The structure makes their skills more valuable as the supply of new experts collapses, which creates a passive constituency, a quiet majority of the most skilled people in the economy who benefit from the collapse continuing whether they want to or not. And so now we have 3 layers. You'd think that that would be enough, but it isn't, because all 3 of these layers taken together produce something at the population scale, something that nobody on any of these 3 layers had to design, but instead it just falls out of the math. A workforce that has no idea when it's being conned, that couldn't organize its way out of a paper bag, that can't start a competing business because the skills to run one are gone. So it shows up and trades hours for whatever rate is on offer that morning, and it calls that freedom. That is historically the most valuable thing that money can buy, and it is being bought right now with every junior that's being replaced. That's layer 4, the asset holding class, and that's where the trade closes. Now, you might be tempted to say, well, this is just how progress works, midday. Every generation worries about the next one losing some skill. People said the same thing about calculators, right? About the printing press, about cars. But I'd push back on that. In the 1980s, American manufacturers started offshoring production to Asia. The story at the time was efficiency, bro. It's cheaper to make it in China. The math is simple. Trust the market. Well, 30 years on, and the United States doesn't just make less stuff, it actually can't make stuff. The skill base is gone. When COVID hit and supply chains broke, America discovered it couldn't even manufacture surgical masks at scale. Not because of price, but because the skill had been allowed to die. And that's what skill collapse looks like at scale. It doesn't feel like a crisis on the way down. Instead, it feels like a savings. But the bill arrives a generation later, and by then, the people who wrote the receipts have already retired. And so, let me bring this home. The viewer of this video is losing something specific. Not society, by the way, but you. You are losing optionality. The option to become competent at something. The option for your children to enter careers that used to be ladders. The option to be hard to replace, which is the only meaningful bargaining chip that a person has against capital. The bill for skill collapse will not arrive in this quarter or the next. It arrives in 2031, 2035, 2040. It arrives as, the senior people that you need to mentor your kids don't exist anymore. The trade that you wanted to learn has no functioning teaching pipeline, and the salary premium for the few remaining experts is stratospheric, and you or your kids will not be one of them. Now, let's be clear about something. The story isn't that AI is making us dumb. AI is a tool, and tools are neutral, for the most part anyway. The story is that a small group of people figured out that a population without skills is worth more to them than a population with them. And then they build the infrastructure that makes sure that the trade goes through. The only question is, well, which side of it are you on? Because right now, statistically, you are on the wrong side. But the good news is, well, at least you can stop pretending that you don't know. If you got any value from this video, please hit the like button and do subscribe for more like this. I gotta go. Bye.